So I'm back here with my good friend Rich Norton, who's hanging out in his car out in the field, and we're just recording these episodes and having a great time. How are you doing today, Rich?
I'm doing excellent. Always a pleasure. And I could talk with you for hours just about the stories of this industry and we share. You've got wonderful talents and I appreciate all that you do. You're the guru in this industry and so many representatives are learning from you, including myself. So thank you for all you do.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And Rich, thanks for joining us today. So today we're talking about something that I'm really passionate about, which is setting your floor and your ceiling. And so let me set the stage a little bit. And then Rich, I want you to kind of educate our audience on this concept. So I think what's very important is that each of us have a financially and even in other aspects of our life, we have the idea of a floor and a ceiling. And so the idea of the floor is what's the minimum amount of money you need to make? What's the minimum level you're willing to accept in your relationships? What's your minimum standard you accept for yourself, health wise, whatever it could be, right? You have this floor. And then many of us also have a ceiling. Those who are very successful do their best to eliminate ceilings, but some have this ceiling. And it's kind of like, well, if I get to where I'm making $7,000 a month in residual or 10,000 a month in residual, well, that's all I've ever dreamed of. And so there's nothing left to fight for. There's nothing left to get up in the morning for, right? So talk about this concept, Rich. How do you see this concept impacting representatives who get into this industry? And what's your advice for the agents out there?
Yes, you want to think big and you want to set goals because if you have a getting by mentality, you're not going to have great success. For example, if you set a goal that, man, if I go out this month and I write three, that means everything is covered. My bills are covered. Or if I write two, or if I can just get one, but what happens if you don't achieve that goal? You got three, that's two, that's one, you might get zero. So a lot of people make a mistake of setting the bar low. So set the bar high, but set it realistic and just make a commitment and go for it. And then surround yourself with people that are doing it. Think better of yourself. Don't have the getting by mentality. And I talked about this before. If you just want to get by in life, just get a regular job. Nothing wrong with that if that's the
Absolutely.
mentality that you have. But if you're the type of individual that is a go-getter and you know you can accomplish great things, this is an amazing opportunity where again, it's as big as you want it to be.
Yeah, Rich, one idea I was just thinking of her story I had when I was 20 years old. It was the first time I was a sales manager. And I had this team. We probably had about 15 or 20 representatives, and they were out door to door selling True Green lawn care. So, spraying fertilizer, right? Um,
Yes.
and the way we looked at that was the goal was based on your annual revenue. So, if somebody's going to pay $100 a month for 9 months, that's $900 in revenue, right? So, our whole region had this goal of you had to sell $3,000 a week in new annual revenue. That was the floor, right? And the best representatives were selling eight, nine, $10,000 a week. Okay. So, Rich, I had this idea where I was out in the field selling. And I was realizing that this is actually really easy. And most representatives just aren't actually working very hard because the goal is so low. So I brought my whole team together and I said, hey, everybody, our floor, the minimum is $8,000 a week. If you don't sell $8,000 a week, you're not going to work here. This is an elite team. If you want to be on our team, it's
Yes.
$8,000 a week. Guess, Rich, how much we averaged on my team?
Amazing how that works,
It
right?
was it was
Yeah.
$8,000. And so it's like our
Yeah.
entire team, we basically dominated the entire, top of the leaderboard because that was our floor. We kind of took everybody else's ceiling and we made it our floor. And it turns out you can do a lot more than you think if you set this and say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to accomplish it, right? Like, have you seen that where you see these agents that kind of are able to elevate these goals a little bit in their mind and get it up to a level that maybe is even surprising to themselves, you know?
No doubt about it, because you first of all you got to get them believing that. I think about a representative that we have out in California, a super sharp guy, been with us for about 3.5 years. He was working with another merchant company and he was struggling along, and he goes, "I'm doing pretty good. I'm writing about two, three a month. On good months, I'm writing about five." I said, "Man, I got to tell you, from talking with you, you're the type of guy, without a doubt, if you just kind of tweak a couple things, make a commitment, start believing in yourself, that you can write 10 to 15 a month. There's no day. Goes, are you kidding me? You think I can get to that point? I said, absolutely. There's no question in my mind. I believe that, but we have to get you believing in that,
Right.
because you're not going to accomplish that if you don't believe in that yourself. Well, guess what? He went through our training. He couple years now, that's what he averages, about 12 to 15 every single month. He's making more money than he's ever made. He wins all the trips that we have because he had to just adjust his mindset, change the mindset. And it's amazing how that works. If you really believe you can do it, like I told him, we believe you can do it. You've got to
Right.
believe you can do it and make that commitment.
I love it. So, Rich, I know you've been really gracious in actually sharing your personal number on the podcast over and over again so people can reach out to you, have these conversations, see if maybe they're even a good fit for your team, but mostly just to connect and kind of understand the industry better and think through their mindset and their goal setting. So, what would be the information you want to share with them on how to reach out to you and get in contact?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, because we get a lot of people that are not only in this industry, but as you know, from all sales backgrounds, and they're
Yes.
reaching out. They're like, hey, I don't know if I'm ready for merchant services, but can I get some sales training from you? How much is that? And I let them know I don't have enough time for that right now. I just want to teach people how to do this business and how to give them an incredible opportunity with us. But maybe you and I can do something down the road when it
Yeah.
comes to that. But phone number for me, reach out to me, 904-434-4635. Leave me a message, text me if I don't answer, or you can email me at payrock, Payroc, Rich Norton at gmail.com.
Thanks, Rich.